On this episode of Two Dudes, One Card, again, we sit down with Mr. Bob Kitchen as he gives recommendations to a couple of our listeners. Scott and Chris, this one's for you. I hope you appreciate it. As always, like and follow and sit back and relax and enjoy this episode of Two Dudes, One Cart with Maple Hill's own Mr. Bob Kitchen. All right, everybody. I've got Bob with us again. He's on location in Florida, enjoying a little salt life. Bob, how you doing, bud?
Wonderful, man. Yeah, just enjoying Anna Maria Island down here by Bradenton.
Hey, after our last episode, there's one question I forgot to ask you that I think that people would be interested. I know I am. When Bob's on the course, what is on your playlist, Bob?
Oh, I think we might have talked about this a long time ago, but it's amazing how wide my range is. I really like lots of different music. I've been listening to Cool J and Green Day and Offspring and Eminem and I'll listen to Huey Lewis and Tom Petty and I don't know, man. It's a wide range. Good music is good music, and I like it all. To be honest, I don't like screaming, but other than that, I'm pretty much in.
Yeah, I figured we're close in age, and that's how mine is. I grew up on my mom playing albums, and all the cool stuff from the '60s and '70s, and
Yeah,
then we've been around for some really good music if you think about it.
we have, and if you look at my last five, it's probably Toby Keith and Kenny Chesney and Wu Tang Clan and
Hey,
wide. I
that,
like it all, man. I really do. I was raised pretty diverse, so I kind of have a taste for a lot of different types of genres of music. Love it all.
yeah, and it makes for good on-course music, that's for sure.
Yes, sir.
So we've got some pretty interesting stuff here. I've got one listener, Chris from Ohio, and I know Ohio is Bob's favorite state. Bob
The whole
Bob
state of
loves
Michigan loves Ohio. Yeah.
Bob loves Ohio.
I actually have a ton of customers there. So it's amazing how big that state is and how many people play golf in that state. It's a very, very golf populated state for sure.
So this is one of the guys that lists his name's Chris. He's 29 years old. He's a
Love it.
14 handicap slicer of the ball. His driver swing is about 100 miles an hour. His carry is about 230. His swing speed with his 7 iron is 85 miles an hour and about a 140 carry. Chris
Yeah.
been playing about 3 years, and right now he's playing with the TaylorMade burners, the old stuff, probably whatever that was, 2010,
Seven or nine.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Somewhere in there.
And he's playing with an old R5 driver. And I said, well, this we could really pick some stuff up for you on this.
Right. Right.
So Bob, if Chris gave you a call
Hmm.
and gave you this information, where would you lead him?
I'd probably lead him into a draw biased driver. At age 29 and his swing speed's pretty high. For control's sake, I'd still probably put him in a stiff flex. I'd try to get him something a little bit of heel weighting or something that can be heel weighted to help square that toe up a little easier and keep the ball from going to the right. Help him pick up a few more yards, and then any driver made is gonna be way lower spin than R5. So that like whether would it be a Cobra or would it be a Callaway or would it be a TaylorMade or would it be a Titleist? Like none of that really matters. Like they're all lower spin the way he has. He has an R5.
Right.
So if he was talking about, I'm playing a TSI driver or TS Titleist driver and I've got a TS2 and what should I do? Like if it was a lot newer, it's a lot longer and tougher conversation, but basically everything made is way better than what he has. So but I'd get him into a draw bias and a stiff flex and hope that can help and start attacking it more from the inside and giving it hands. He's obviously casting at the top of his swing, and that's how you slice the ball. But if he's a 14, he's not terrible. Short game, so he's going to improve the fastest strokes wise.
Yeah, he said his one of his things he was interested to see what you would say is where would you lead him on um irons?
Irons, yeah, I would. He didn't say his height or any of that stuff, but I would probably if he's a 14 and he's relatively consistent, he could do an iron fitting and see what's the best for him. If his irons go right too, he needs an offset model, something that's like a hot metal or a smoke or a QI or something like that. Just the dark speed adapt, one of the easy to hit models. Um, Maverick Rogue, if you want to go back a couple of years and save some money, which I highly recommend to people because when those clubs came out, they were the best. And now there's newer stuff, but it's not always better. But yeah, I would probably look into some sort of a fitting with a 14 handicap if he's been playing and his game's about as sharp as it's going to be. Depends on his height and hands and all those things, but it's not never a bad idea to look at a fitting. I can tell you that. Even if it's not like super in depth, what shaft should I use? Does the Modus work better than Diamond Gold? Like that's probably splitting hairs for a 14, but does a 105 work better than a 120? That's a real question.
Yeah, he was. We had a little back and forth, and basically he was saying he's in the last year he's gotten a lot better, but he feels inconsistent in the fact that he's going. I'm scrolling through here. He shot 279s last year,
All right, let's
and
go.
then he's kind of all over the place. But he's also said that sometimes his irons go a lot longer than they used to.
Right.
So he's definitely getting better. He's
Yeah, if
definitely
he
getting better,
squares it
hitting
up.
the ball
Oh
better.
hell
And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Shooting a 79, dude. Not everybody can do that. So yeah, he is
no,
getting better.
that's what I told him. Feel good for that for 3 years in, bud. Or feel good for that.
Yeah, hell yeah, exactly.
So our next guy is Scott. He's from North Carolina. Now he's a hooker of the ball. His driver swing speed is 105. His carry, he said, is very inconsistent with the driver. He said mostly he's around that 250, 260 mark.
Yeah.
His 7 iron swing speed is 92 miles an hour. And his carry is about 170 with a 7 iron.
That's plenty far.
And let me see. He is playing an old Callaway Rogue driver. And, well, he's also playing TaylorMade. What are those? He looks like he has 790s down there.
Mm.
So, so what would you think about
What
that?
was his handicap again? Did you say it?
He did not say his handicap, but
Okay.
I'm,
Well,
I'm while you're
he needs
talking,
a
I'm gonna look.
yeah. If he's trying to go anti-left, he needs a little stronger shaft than whatever he's playing. So I'm not going to sit here and just say he needs a stiff flex or extra stiff. He needs stronger than what he's playing.
Oh,
Because
he's a
when you
not
don't know when you don't know where they're at, it's hard to tell where they should be.
nine
So if the ball's
handicap,
going left, the shaft's too weak. 9 handicap.
9 handicap.
Okay, so he's pretty good. So if the ball's going left, the shaft's too weak. Unless he likes a big hook, the desired outcome is also important too, right, Steve?
Right.
Like if I'm playing a big hook, okay, well, do you like that? Because if you like it, keep playing it. If you don't want to hook it as bad and you want to slow that down, the shaft's got to be stronger. If your ball flight's good, leave the weight alone. If your ball flight's too high, go heavier. If your ball flight's too low, go lighter. Obviously, different shafts launch at different heights. Like Ventus red, blue, and black are all different trajectories as far as how the ball comes off the face. But yeah, and then his irons. You said, oh, P790s. Yeah, that's probably all right. That sounds like a good fit. And he's hitting it plenty far. If anybody complains about P790s, though, it's that they go too far. It's the lofts are a little strong and the heads are hollow, so the ball really jumps. And yeah, but that doesn't sound like his irons are an issue at all. His driver maybe a little, but nothing else sounds too bad.
Yeah, he didn't have too many complaints on the. He had some stuff about wedges. He did. I did ask when he said he hooked the ball because I got a buddy that's bad at hooking the ball, and he played tennis. And this guy, Scott, does play tennis and pickleball. And I said
Yeah,
that explains a lot. When you most of you guys can get it from the inside and really turn it over.
exactly. And hockey guys have a tendency at that too.
So let me see. I got another one here. Oh, what do you say his handicap was? Now this guy said he's a 20. His name is Bob, ironically.
I love him already.
Where's he from? Wisconsin. Okay. And he has he says 102. These guys get really specific.
Hmm.
102 driver swing speed. And he's about 90 miles an hour with a 7 iron, but he's only carrying a 7 iron about 135. And he's playing some let's see,
Something's wrong.
TaylorMade Tour Preferred irons. Doesn't say what year they are, but that's probably explaining why his iron distance might be a little off.
And Bob's at 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bo-
that's Bob.
Bob's
We
a
gotta
20
we gotta
and
talk about your irons.
he's playing an old looks like a Titleist like a 915 driver.
Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah, that's point and shoot. He needs to go to a game improvement iron, something easier to hit, bigger sweet spot. He's given up 15 to 25 yards in his irons playing those old heavy TaylorMade TPs. His speed's high enough, but that iron is not right for him at all. 915 driver's probably okay. It's just old. I mean, it's 10 years old now. 15's the year it came out. That's how they got their name. 9 was September and 15 was the year. Um, that's how Titles used to name their golf clubs. People are like, "Oh, I got the 982s or 9 not 82s. 990s." Yeah, it came out in September 1990. Um, so yeah, that's old. That needs some help. Bad.
Yeah, he said he got it was a hodgepodge set he'd picked up from some friends because I asked him, I said, "Man, where'd you get that at?"
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
told
that's
him
all right. That's all
I'd
right.
be will-
Sometimes you just make do with what you got too, right? You just go up and this is all I had. Like, why do you play right-handed? Because my dad only had right-handed clubs. I've heard that one before too.
right.
Like a left-handed that just plays right because that's all there was.
Well, he said he had those tour preferreds, and I said, "Send me a picture. I might be willing to buy them from you." If they're the
Yeah,
ones that Daniel Berger likes, I'm still trying to get that autographed Ryder Cup flag from Daniel
there you
Berger.
go.
I'm trying
There
to
you go.
do some
There you
swapping
go.
with that guy.
Love it.
Well, he also asked, he said he has some looks like they're SM7 Volkey wedges, and he said he really struggles with those and wanted to know what your thoughts on let's see, on kind of a game improvement set of wedges.
Yeah. See the world. This is we're still talking about Bob, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The world is filled with Bob. There's a lot of Bob. There's a lot of 20 handicaps that like just are playing blade style wedges, and the truth is they just have no business doing that. But sometimes that's all that's available. Like if you want to play a Titleist wedge, you're playing a blade. And to me, and like for a long time, that's kind of all there was. Like everybody's like, "Oh yeah, the touch, the feel, the blah blah blah." Well, it still needs some forgiveness, especially for a 14, 20. Like a blade style wedge is just brutal unless golf is what you do for a living, unless it's a really, really near and dear to your heart passion and hobby. If you're just going out and being the recreational weekend warrior, like blade style wedges, they're just too hard to hit. So yes, I agree with them. Look at a Cleveland CBX4 Zip Core or a Callaway Mac Daddy or Mizuno finally has one. I think it's called the T3. I think it's called. Um, I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Somebody else just had a cavity. Oh, Wilson just brought out that infinite wedge that's black, and it's God, is that beautiful? And it's like $120, and it's just sweet technology. So we're getting there. We're slowly but surely. We're trying to make the game a little easier, even on the wedge side of the business.
Well, and I told him you'd probably go that way, but he's like, sometimes I hit him really well, and I said, I don't think you know what it means to hit one of those wedges really well. I said, you got to watch. I said, I've watched plenty of tour players, but when I've been in person and heard
Yes.
what it sounds like when you hit a good one,
Yes.
either I'm deaf or I've never hit a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the whole thing about golf and golf clubs and all that is, well, I like to play forged blades because I really like to, it really makes me concentrate. When I hit one sweet, my God, is it sweet? You know how many times I've heard that, Steve? I've heard that so many times. Like, okay, the truth is, if you hit anything sweet, it feels really sweet. The thing about golf is where you should be playing the odds. the odds of a 20 handicap hitting the ball in the center of the club face isn't very high. So if you're going to play the odds, play a club that's more forgiving. So if you miss hit it by an inch is an inch is an inch. It's an inch off center is the same on blades or cavities or anything on God's green earth. An inch is an inch. But you got a lot more forgiveness. The ball's going to go further and straighter on a cavity backed iron or a hollow construction iron than what a straight blade is. It's just flat out going to. But I can also tell you this, Steve, and I've said this to customers 1,000 times, is the odds in Las Vegas aren't very high, and it's packed every day. So yeah. I don't know how smart we humans are, but it's also something to do, and it's recreation. I get all that. I'm not bashing Las Vegas. I've been there myself. It's a crazy place, but the odds are you're not going to hit it and flush. So just play something that's easier. Don't make the game harder than it has to be. And if you are making the game harder than it has to be, then don't complain about your scores because nobody wants to hear it. There's easier stuff to hit available. So stop making it hard.
Now he did, he's dang it. I keep blocking myself out of my own phone. He also he said he's been playing for, scroll down here. He's been playing for about 4 years, and he's been debating off and on and going in and actually getting a full fitting at a 20 handicap. What do you think about that?
If he's 6'3", he should. Or if he's 5'5", he should. If he's somewhere in between there, not. It's probably a waste of money. He should. If he's trying to get serious and trying to get better and his swing's somewhat consistent, it's not a bad idea. Paying $300 or $250 or any of that kind of stuff for like a full-on what shaft, blah, blah, blah. Like then they're going to tell you your set's $3,000. That's crazy. That's crazy. If you're just trying to make, we talked about in the last show, the goals and what's the goal and are we trying to really get better? Are we trying to, where's the end game? So if the goal is to enjoy the game more, don't worry too much about all that. If the goal is to really, really get good and really get competitive, and I'm trying to make the cut of my blah, 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 or trying to get in the next flight up in my league and, golf's my passion. I really, really want to get good at it. Okay, then take it real serious. Practice a ton, and a full fitting's not a bad idea. But be realistic and honest about your goals and kind of go from there. That's my opinion.
All right. I know you're at the beach, so I don't want to keep you super long. But what
I'm doing all right.
I want to know.
It's windy and not great today, but it's still better than Michigan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, okay, bud. You just keep talking it down. You're at the beach.
Sorry, buddy.
What's your pick, or who's your pick, I should say, for the Masters?
Well, I went with my boy Xander. I picked him on our Maple Hill thing and our Instagram and all that social media stuff that we sent out. And I think he's primed. I know he's like maybe 5th or 6th favorite. I just saw that list. Did you see that list of favorites or no?
I did not. Not yet.
Yeah, there's a list of like favorites, and he's like plus 1,600 or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Somebody sent me something. But yeah, I think he's so sharp, and I think the Masters is a course he can excel on, and I don't know. He's my boy. I love him. I love him on all the shows, and I think he was on TGL.
Yeah, he had the injury.
He was fun to watch on that. I think he's a really cool guy, and I think it's about primed. But I actually kind of, to stay on the same subject, but take the focus off of my pick. I think this Masters is going to be awesome. There's a lot of really big names, really good players playing really, really good right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think this Masters is primed to be like epic. And obviously TW is not playing anymore, but I think it's going to be sweet. I really do. I'm pumped, man. I'm jacked. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I my pick was I picked Oberg.
Okay.
Yeah,
did he just win, or did he just?
He was close, but the dude drove a green with breaking his driver. That's why I picked him. He's a machine.
But yeah, he was at the top last week or week before, I think.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. There's so many. Mickelson's
JT just played good. Rory just played good.
Sergio's playing well. All these guys that have been around forever are playing really well, and they all have a lot of history at this course.
And golf is just so competitive, and it's so tough, and It's and now obviously all the live guys are coming back for this event because it's a major, but um yeah, I actually I'm jacked. It's kind of breathes life into you, if you know what I mean. I think some of the listeners out there can relate to what I'm talking about. It like breathes life back into golf and spring, and just it just puts you in a good mood. And Masters is such a beautiful thing. I'm jacked. I'm even wearing my golf shirt today. Yeah, I love it.
Well, since we're talking about the Masters, I have to give a shout out to my buddy Justin and Ty that went down there and got rained out with their
Oh,
tickets for practice round. They did
I
get
saw that.
they did get tickets for next year, which was
Yeah, I
cool.
saw that.
But Ty was in the merchandise building, and as soon as he got done, they got called out. He saw none of the course.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh man.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, they don't want anybody setting foot on that place because really, if the grass gets ruined, it really kills it for TV. So I've been there twice. I know why they did what they did, but the people that have tickets and did all the work and hotels and spent all the time and money and lined up all the
Mm.
BS to make it happen, and then for it not to happen is literally heartbreaking. I put myself in those people's shoes, and I don't even know what I'd do. I'd be so sad. You got to wait a whole another year.
Oh yeah,
Oh
I'd be washing down my tears at the nearest bar because that would break
yeah,
my
yeah.
heart.
At Hooters with John Daly. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
he's there signing stuff. Daly's gold, man. And did you see the trailer for Happy Gilmore too?
Oh yeah,
With
Uh,
Daly in it. I think
yeah.
I think Happy Gilmore 2 is gonna be great too. We'll talk about more of that in the summer because that's a summertime movie, but I think that's gonna be awesome.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about is the comments that were there were a week ago. I meant to ask you on the last episode, but Bubba Watson saying that Scotty Scheffler has had the greatest season that any have ever seen. He said, "I know Tiger did some stuff in 2000." My comment was, well, Tiger won three majors in 2000, and I
Right.
said, but on top of that, how do you how do you look at Xander's year against Scotty's year? We both know neither of them are better than Tiger in 2000, but
Right.
Xander winning two majors
Yeah.
and only to be outshined kind of by Scheffler winning nine times and one of
Yeah.
those being a major, but still, they're neither one. You can't. I guess you could put them together and they'd be close to Tiger in 2000.
Is he talking about Scotty's year last year?
Yeah,
Plus the tour is divided now with the live. I don't know how I love Bubba, but I don't he says some things that I'm like, come on, dude.
I
You
I
really believe that?
I messaged him on social media because I was hoping it was a joke. I was like, when he said, that Tiger did some stuff in 2000, but this is. I was like, you got to be kidding.
You mean like when Tiger had all four
Yeah,
of the majors
yeah.
trophies at the same time? Yeah, that
Sitting
was
on
pretty
his
cool.
sitting on his
Yeah,
table, sitting there looking at him. Yeah, that was
the
rough.
Tiger Slam. I literally don't think it'll ever happen again. I really don't.
Oh
Golf
no
is
way.
too competitive, and it's just such a hard sport to win. Like the people that don't play golf have no idea how difficult that truly is. Like what he did. It's
No, and the closest we had would have been what Spieth and what 20 was that 13 or 14? One of those years when
yes,
he was on the roll. He had a chance, but it's just difficult. I mean, you
it's so
gotta
hard.
what
One little bad break, one little missed putt, one little drive that went under the pine straw or whatever. Like it's just so many things have to line up. It is just so freaking hard. It
you know
really
what's
is.
what's really ridiculous is the fact that we sit here and we have these conversations when my God, I just like to be able to sniff winning one major, let alone trying to win multiple or a tournament. I'd rather, if I could win the John Deere, the Rocket Mortgage, or the whatever Pocono Open. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm willing to take anything.
right. Like the like Club Pro guy, the
Yeah,
Los Mujeres Masters or
yeah,
whatever that thing is. It's so funny. How about this for a good season, Steve? Go to four events as a spectator.
yeah. Hey,
You know what I mean? That'd
yeah.
be a hell of a season. Like, just make it to four events, even if one of them's a major. You'd be like, oh man, in 2025, I had the best season ever. Oh, you did? What'd you do? Oh, I went to the Masters and three other events. Oh, really? That's incredible. What a season. Did you play? No, I didn't. I just watched all the good players play. That'd be a good season, let alone making it, let alone winning, all those things. Like, it's so far from reality. It's hard to imagine. but these guys are literally that good. It's just, I don't know. And you kind of got to earn your stripes. Like golf is beautiful for so many reasons.
Well, I got one more question for you.
Fire, baby.
What do you think we're going to see from Mr. Cleveland going back to Cleveland?
Well,
What kind of innovations can
yeah.
he help implement into the new line of wedges they've got are already outstanding, but
Yeah.
the what do you think he brings back to the company?
So that's a great question. So he's been designing Callaway's wedges for a long time, and way before that, back before 2000, he got signed with Callaway in 2000. So he hasn't worked for his own company in forever. He sold his name, he sold his patents, he sold everything. He just went to Callaway and said, "I'll design them." And he couldn't use his initials, he couldn't use his last name, he could just use the R. So the Callaway wedges have that R on them. It's for Roger Cleveland. So going back to his company, I think it's kind of how he wants it to end. When I met him and you and I talked about that when he was sat in my office and I went to lunch with him, I even texted him the other day and said, like, hey, I sent a screenshot of that. I was like, gotta feel good to be home. He's like, thank you very much. I said, well, I wish you continued success. He's like 81 or whatever I said. He's like over 80. So I don't think there's too much like innovation or technology or any of that. I think he's gonna just kind of be the face of the business again and kind of he is such a gentleman and he's so old school, classic, nice. He does bring a touch of that to his company. And if they just let him give speeches and meet people in glad hand, he's such a good guy. He really is such a good guy that I think it's a beautiful thing for him to team back up with his company that has his name on it. A lot of people still think it's from the city. It's literally the guy's last name. Like Callaway's the guy's last name. And, Wilson was years ago, but good for him. I don't know what he's going to do there. They'll probably call him part of the product development management team or something like that, but I doubt he's going to have too much of a input on it. He already designed some of those successful wedges in the history of the sport. So, but I'm happy for him. I think it's what he wanted. He was kind of quiet and shy about what his future was when I was asking him. And it was kind of weird because he answered all the other questions really in depth and thorough, and he wouldn't really say much at all about, well, yeah, I'm splitting up with Callaway at the end of the year, and he answered the question, but it was kind of now I get it. Now I get it. Now I know what he was. He couldn't talk about it. I'm sure. I think he probably had some sort of order in place where like you don't say anything until it's announced. It's that maybe announced until March 1st, whatever that date was. So he probably had a gag order on him to not make Callaway look crappy in the meantime. A lot of it's about saving face, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I picture him as a guy that's kind of like my grandpa was, and I'd go out in the garage and he'd be sitting in something. He would still just tinker to be tinkering.
Yeah.
And
Yes. Yep.
he's such a, to do what he's done, he's such a craftsman that I
Yeah,
think
he is.
I don't know. I hope there's some little twist he has going out that he's put together over these years. Something he's just got in his hip pocket and ready to
Yeah.
throw
I'm
on
sure they're
there.
going to market it like that. I can
Well,
guarantee you they're going to
and
market it like that.
I'm happy for it, but I think it's
But
cool that he's going back. I know
yeah,
we've talked about it, but I think it's a real cool story and great to see.
it is. And you can't turn a brilliant mind off, right? And he has a brilliant mind, and he is like the grandpa that everybody wishes that they had. I don't know exactly how he is like at the dinner table or anything like that, but I can tell you just what a gentleman and soft spoken and genuine that he was. Just I think the world of him, and I'm just happy for him. Whatever he does, whatever his role is, however this ends, he doesn't got a ton of years left. He's in good health, and his brain's sharp as a tack. I mean, he's the only thing I can strip that from you is Alzheimer's or some sort of terrible disease. But he's in good health. He looks great. He was sharp as a knife. So good for him.
All right, Bob. Well, we're gonna let you off the hook early so you can go and enjoy the beach. Everybody that's around here in Indiana, where we're having a freeze warning in March or April, and it's blowing about 10 miles an hour outside, and or well,
Yeah.
actually about 15 to 20. But and here's Bob down at the beach hanging out,
Yeah.
living
Yeah.
life.
Well, sorry, buddy. I gotta get out of there once in a while to maintain my sanity.
Oh,
And
I'm sure you do.
the kids having no school is the perfect excuse for me to get the hell out of there for a little bit. So I fly back Monday. I'll be back in there on the 16th, I think it is, something like that. So anyhow, I'm here for a few more days. I'm gonna do a little fishing. I'm golfing tomorrow, and then a little wild boar hunting end of the week, and then flying home. So thanks for having me on, buddy. It's always good to see your face, and I hope things in Indiana are going well. And the listeners in Ohio, I appreciate those guys too. This is really enjoyable for me. So thank you very much.
Yep, and we appreciate it, and thank you for taking the time on your little holiday there. That's not a lot of people do that stuff. That's why we appreciate you, buddy.
My pleasure, dude. I enjoy it thoroughly.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.